Okay, Chair, we are now live and the meeting can commence.
That's great. Can I welcome everybody to this afternoon's meeting of the Scrutiny Committee. I'll now go on to explain how the meeting will work. During the meeting, all microphones and cameras will be switched off, with the exception of myself and any presenting officers other than as directed by the meeting facilitator. Should anybody leave the meeting for any reason, the meeting will continue unless it is no longer quorate. Privacy and confidentiality. Please ensure that all items relating to personal, private or confidential or exempt information are not visible through your camera or screen sharing until any press and public have been excluded from the meeting. Please be advised that all proceedings of this meeting will be recorded and broadcast on YouTube live for members of the public to see. Please ensure when you are not speaking, your microphone remains on mute and your camera is switched off. If you wish to speak at any point, please turn on your camera and raise your hand, or alternatively indicate via the chat function. The meeting facilitator will then unmute your microphone and invite you to speak at the appropriate time. You should then click to confirm that you wish to unmute your microphone and then state your question or comment. Please do not try to unmute yourself. The meeting facilitator will do this for you. There will be a slight delay and then you will be prompted to allow yourself to be unmuted. Please select the blue button that says unmute now to do so. Approving items. When I request you all to approve or note an item, I will ask you to turn on your camera and the meeting facilitator will then unmute everyone. If you have any issues, this will be your opportunity to raise them. Silence will be taken as approval. Can I confirm that the following members are in attendance and all are present, can hear and can be heard? Councillor Bruce Berry.
Yes, I'm present and I can hear perfectly well, thank you.
Councillor Dan Barrington.
Yes, I can hear and see everything.
Great, thank you. Councillor Angela Coleman. Angela not here? Yes. Can you hear us, Councillor Coleman?
I can. Sorry for being so late. I had trouble logging on.
Lovely, thank you. Councillor Andrew Makinson.
Yes, I'm present and I can hear.
Great, thank you. Councillor Preston.
Yes, I'm present and I can hear, thank you.
Great, thank you. Councillor Jean Stapleton.
Yes, I'm present and can hear.
Lovely, thank you. Councillor Linda Maloney.
Yes, I'm here and can hear everything.
Kendall Preston. Sorry, Mr. Anthony Boyle, our independent person.
I'm present and can hear you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will now proceed to the agenda. We have apologies for absence from Councillors Paul Tweed, Councillor Doreen Knight and Councillor Edna Finneran. Declarations of interest. Do we have any declarations of interest that need to be made? I'll take that as no declarations. There are no matters of urgency to be admitted onto the agenda. And there are no items on today's agenda that require the exclusion of the press and public. Okay, agenda item 2. We need to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Could members now turn on their cameras by clicking Start Video in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen? The meeting facilitator will now unmute everyone to provide you with an opportunity to raise any issues with regards to the minutes. If you wish to raise anything, please click to confirm you want your microphone to be unmuted and state your comment. If no issues are raised, the minutes will be taken as approved. Okay, we'll take it the minutes are approved. Thank you, everyone. Okay, we're now going to consider item agenda 3, which is the health and safety performance figures, which will be presented by Officer Knock.
Okay, thank you very much. Just before I start, can I just confirm with the host that my screen is visible? 1 second.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. Okay, I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank the Assistant Chief Fire Officer for allowing me to present in this forum, and would welcome the members to the presentation on the annual health and safety accident statistics. 1 second. That's it, right. Okay, so just to introduce myself, I'm Station Manager Jed Knock. I'm currently serving in operational assurance and in health and safety, and I'm presenting on behalf of Group Manager Craig Whitfield on this matter. So this is the Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority annual health and safety accidents and injury statistics in comparison to other Met and North West Region Fire and Rescue Authorities. Okay, so the background information on this presentation is that it supports the paper submitted to the members prior to Scrutiny Committee. It makes performance comparisons between Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority and other Met Fire and Rescue Authorities and North West Region Fire Authorities. Data is drawn from published Home Office National Statistics and North West Region NFCC Health and Safety Group Statistics over the period of 2018 to 19. Members can please note that 2019 to 20 Home Office statistics are not yet available, and they'll be published in autumn 2020. On that note, could I also bring to the attention of the members that the 2019 to 21 statistics are a continued improvement on those that are being presented today. Okay, so without further ado, we're now going to examine the total number of firefighter injuries. So the comparators we have are between the Met and the North West Region Fire and Rescue Authorities. In this, you'll note that we draw particular attention to Tyne and Wear Fire and Rescue Authority. Tyne and Wear, although a smaller service than Merseyside, has a very similar geography and faces similar social and economic challenges, so therefore we draw a comparison against them in respect to their incident types and activity that they undertake. So the circumstances we're going to look at are fire incidents, non-fire incidents, during training and during routine activity. Okay, so I'm now going to present to the members a series of graphs with this data. So if we look at the Met Fire and Rescue Authorities total number of firefighter injuries across 2018 to 19, members should note that the total number of injuries was 857. Of this number, only 33 were attributed to Merseyside. Okay. Comparing now with the North West Region Fire and Rescue Authorities, once again looking at the total number of firefighting injuries across the same period, 2018 to 19, we will note that in the North West there are a total of 186 firefighter injuries. With this, Merseyside has also ranked the second lowest at 33. Okay. Now we're going to compare the Met Fire and Rescue Authorities in respect of total number of firefighter injuries at fire incidents only between 2018 to 19. In this, Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority have ranked the second lowest at 19 fire injuries at fire incidents. With respect to the Met Fire and Rescue Authorities, the total number of firefighting injuries at non-fire incidents between 2018 to 19. In this, we have ranked the second lowest with a total of four injuries at this type of instance. Now I'd like to move on to the North West Region Fire and Rescue Authorities and the total number of firefighting injuries at fire incidents. So this is fire incidents for North West between 2018 to 19. In this, Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority ranked The second highest at 19, a total of 19 injuries across this period. And in comparison to the North West Region Fire and Rescue Authorities, the total number of firefighting injuries at non-fire incidents between 2018 to 19. Out of the 5 North West groups, Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority ranked 3rd. Now we're going to look at the Met Fire and Rescue Authorities and the total number of firefighting injuries during training between 2018 and 19. Okay, so in this, Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority has ranked the lowest overall at a total of 8 injuries from a overall total of 252. With respect to the North West region, and we're looking at firefighting injuries during training once again, this between 2018 to 19. If I draw attention to the members to the total, which is 71 total injuries during training. Of that number, only 8 were attributed to Merseyside. And lastly, the Met Fire and Rescue Authority's total number of injuries during routine activity, 2018 to 19. Merseyside has ranked the joint lowest with Tyne and Wear at a total of 2. In comparison to the North West region's total number of firefighting injuries during routine activity, Merseyside has once again ranked the lowest, this time with 2 injuries. Okay, so what do we draw from these statistics? This slide represents that this is essentially a good news story for Merseyside. Merseyside reinforces and drives a positive health and safety culture where we encourage reporting, near misses, continual communication with staff and reinforcement of good practice and acknowledgements and highlighting that's across the board to make this health and safety culture work, not only for the workforce, but for the communities that we serve as well. So a big message that we promote in Merseyside is safety first, and this is represented through Merseyside coming on all them graphs at the low end of the scale. So a real good success story for Merseyside in this respect. Okay. I'd like to thank you. That was my first time to presenting in this forum, so really enjoyed it. Could I take any questions from the members or anyone else over?
If anyone has any questions or comments, please switch on your camera and raise your hand. The meeting facilitator will then unmute your microphone and invite you to speak at the appropriate time. You will then need to click to confirm you wish to unmute your microphone, and you can then state your question or comment. Any questions for Officer Knott? I'll take that. Oh yeah. Yeah, Councillor Coleman.
I can't switch my video on, so as long as you can hear me, that's fine. Oh, right, I can start my video now. Right.
That working?
Oh, yeah, what have I done?
We can hear and see you now.
Can you? I can't see anything. Hang on. Oh, I can. Sorry, having a bit of trouble here. First of all, thank you so much, Jed, for that presentation, and it's a really good one to have your first presentation on because it's all good news and it's really good. I'd just like to ask, it's obviously really good that we've got a good reporting culture in the authority, and could you just run through the process of how accidents are reported and how especially near misses are reported as well?
Absolutely, yeah, no problem at all. So following an event, what we deem as a near miss, an investigating officer will be appointed to quality assure the investigation. Now, all our watch managers and supervisory staff are trained in the basics of accident investigation, so they will gather the relevant information, which includes photography, witness statements, sketches, diagrams, any supporting forms. We do have a set procedure and a template for recording this on a system we call Oceans. I don't know if the members are familiar with this system. So this is a reporting tool that we use through Merseyside Fire and Rescue, and the near miss is reported through that way. This near miss is cast out to the health and safety department, and the learning then will come from this. So improvements can be made, and then once the improvement's been made, this improvement then is fed back as in a learning cycle, almost a bit of a loop that we can feed back to the shop floor, if you like. So there's a continual reinforcement of if something's reported, it's acted upon, and the improvement is made. Okay.
That's great. I mean, I didn't know about the reporting tool, so that's really interesting. So that can be something very trivial, like a trip hazard, something, or that, you know, if a member of staff sees something that they think is a potential for an accident, they can report it on this reporting tool that you mentioned. Is that right? That
is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's very, very quick, very comprehensive, very easy to use.
That's good to know. Thank you.
That's great. I think there's no more questions. So can I get? Oh, sorry, Councillor Coleman. Yeah.
I'm sorry, if Councillor Makinson wants to go first, because I've already spoke, you can go first and then I can ask my question.
Councillor Makinson, I haven't got you on.
Very positive report, all very good news there. I'm just wondering, in terms of comparing with other authorities, there's obviously a big difference in the number of firefighters each authority employs. So could we perhaps in future see figures that showed it as accidents per however many hundred firefighters, so we can actually compare the number of accidents by the size of the authority rather than just the total number of accidents per each authority? So find some better way of presenting that, perhaps.
Okay, absolutely. I'll feed that back into the health and safety manager. So for future consideration, absolutely no problem at all. On that respect, we have tried to align to Tyne and Wear. However, there is slight disproportions. Tyne and Wear are a slightly smaller establishment than ourselves. But yeah, I'll certainly feed that back to the health and safety manager. Thank you.
Councillor Coleman, you have another question, yeah?
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think that's really a good suggestion by Councillor Makinson about a bit of context in terms of the overall workforce. I'm just looking at the table on page 29, and obviously the main cause of accidents are trivial things. I'm not saying the trivial, obviously every accident is important, but it's things like lifting, carrying, slip and fall and things like that. That's 15 and 14 instances of those. Is there any way that we could have a breakdown of actually what they are and sort of like a little description to see whether A, it's a recurring thing, or B, whether it's all centred in one station or something like that, so you get a bit of an idea of what's causing. I mean, to be honest with you, the report is so positive. You know, we wouldn't be doing our job as Scrutiny if we weren't looking for things and ways to improve. So it's by no means a criticism, and just wondering about whether or not we can sort of dig down a little bit deeper into these accidents.
Before we reply, the ACFO has raised his hand. Sir, do you want to respond?
Yeah, it was just a couple of things. I think that was an excellent point around maybe turning these into per 100,000. The difficulty we've had in doing that is obviously the number of incidents that each service attends. There is a disparity between the number of incidents that Merseyside would attend and in the region, say Cumbria. So again, it starts to get a little bit more complicated when we try to do that, but absolutely, the point is really well made around trying to understand what that actually means. In terms of reassurance, I think you've heard from Jed already. We've got a really positive health and safety culture, and some of the questions, Councillor Coleman, that you're asking at the moment will, I'm sure, be covered in the annual health and safety report, which you should have had by now, but due to all things COVID, is probably going to arrive with the authority in the autumn. And we also have a health and safety committee, which you may not be aware of, whereby and Councillor Grace attends that on behalf of the authority, which is sort of where the service and the representative bodies come together to try and work together to make sure that we have the most positive health and safety culture possible. And it's been really successful. I don't know if Councillor Grace wants to comment on that, but the health and safety report is annual report is going through that next group, and we should arrive with the authority, I'd say, either the next authority meeting or certainly the one after that. So that's just some of the questions may well be answered in that report.
Yeah, and just to say that the health and safety meetings are an excellent, because they're such a mix of people, that so many diverse areas are covered. So yeah, totally agree with that. Has anybody else got any more comments?
Sorry, can I just ask about my question about the breakdown in terms of the slips and falls? Are we saying that that will be covered in the health and safety report, so there's no need to just wait for that report to find out that information? And if that's the case, Councillor Grace, could you maybe just point me in the right direction of where to look for that information in that report?
Certainly.
Great, thank you.
Councillor Coleman, we can absolutely get that information to you. That's available. It won't be a problem to do that. You're quite right. A lot of the injuries that we're reporting because of the positive health and safety culture that we have in Merseyside are minor in nature, and there is very little time lost to injury for our firefighters and staff. We're at the point where very minor sort of abrasions and so on are being reported, which is really positive. And I can see a number of these near misses, and you can think that's a negative, but actually it's a real positive. And it sounds like we've got some background in health and safety, so that's a really good thing. We actually want to encourage that, so certainly we can get that information to you. I'm sure Jed can facilitate that, but those statistics in those breakdowns should be available in the annual report. But if you would like more depth, I'm sure we can make that happen.
Thank you, that'd be brilliant, thank you.
So any more questions or comments? I'd just like to thank Officer Jen Knott for that report. It was brilliant. Could members now turn on their cameras, and the meeting facilitator will unmute everyone to provide you with an opportunity to raise any issues with regards to the item. If you wish to raise anything, then click to confirm you want your microphone to be unmuted and state your comment. If no issues are raised, the recommendation will be taken as approved. Okay, we'll take that as approved. Agenda item 4, which is positive action. Not sure who's presenting this one.
Councillor Grace, it's Sarah Fielding who's presenting this agenda item.
I confirm that everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can.
We can.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Sarah Fielding. I am one of the recruitment managers here at the service. And what I'm going to present to you this afternoon is an overview of our positive action initiatives that we have in place. A little bit about myself, first of all. My main responsibility within the service is the recruitment of firefighters into the organisation. And alongside that is undertaking positive action to support that recruitment. And so what I'm going to talk about this afternoon is mainly concentrated around firefighter recruitment. With myself this afternoon, I have 2 operational colleagues as well who are going to assist with this presentation as well. And I'll introduce them as the presentation progresses. So what I'd like to take the time this afternoon just to go through with you is just to very briefly explain what is positive action, talk to you about what is our approach in the service towards positive action and highlight some of our successes to you, and then also to talk to you about our plans for the future. So just very briefly, just around what positive action is. Positive action is a range of measures that are allowed under the Equality Act, which employers can use lawfully to encourage and train individuals who come from underrepresented groups to consider applying for roles within their organisations. So the aim of positive action is to assist underrepresented groups within a workforce with overcoming disadvantages in competing with other applicants. We like to use the analogy, it's around getting people to the start line of a selection process. in the past, certain occupations may not have been open to certain groups, or individuals may not have had exposure to that particular field of work. And so we are able to, under positive action, work with those individuals and get them prepared and informed so that they would be able to take part in a selection process. So what positive action means specifically for Merseyside Fire and Rescue Service and for firefighter recruitment is that our positive action activities are aimed to attract more females and individuals from a Black, Asian or minority ethnic background, or BAME for short, to apply for our operational roles. These particular demographics are underrepresented within our operational workforce. So prior to 2017, our approach to positive action was to attend large events that were taking place in the community and try and just talk to as many people as we could and encourage them to apply for firefighter vacancies. And we would attend events such as the Race for Life, charity run events. We attended Africa Oye in Sefton Park in Liverpool, and we attended Pride as well. And whilst we did see some success with this approach, what we were realising is that we weren't quite attracting the diverse range of candidates that we wanted to. And so then, having done a listening exercise with both internal and external stakeholders, we realised we needed to become more targeted. We really needed to make contact with those individuals that we were trying to attract. And we did this by using the expertise that we have within our workforce, but also with the community contacts that we have. And so what I'd like to do now is take you through this targeted approach and to talk through the activities that we undertake as part of positive action. So in terms of firefighter recruitment, in the summer of 2017, we introduced what we call Have a Go Days. And these days are for individuals from underrepresented groups who wish to know more about the role of a firefighter and about the recruitment process that's involved. Our aim at these events is to provide information to individuals so that they can make a decision as to whether they wish to train and prepare for firefighter recruitment. The days involve individuals having a go at the physical assessments, which are part of firefighter recruitment. We facilitate assessment centre and interview skills workshops, and we also provide one-to-one feedback on application forms as well. We invite individuals who have applied for firefighter recruitment but who haven't progressed beyond the initial stages of the selection process. And we also invite individuals who have been referred to us either from our staff or from our community contacts. To raise awareness of our Have a Go Days, in early 2019, our corporate communications team put together a video which we use now when we go out and promote the Have a Go Days. And I would like to play this video for you because I think it really sums up what the days are about and what we're trying to achieve. So I'm just going to try this now. That's just a very short video that we use to promote the Have a Go Days when we go out and speak to our community contacts. And you heard from firefighter Tanya Walsh in that video, and Tanya is with me this afternoon, and I've invited her to just come and talk just for a few minutes to you just around her experience of positive action and how it assisted her. So we're just going to swap places.
Hello. As I said in the video, the Have a Go Days really were invaluable. As I said, I had previously applied, but I didn't get past the initial application. Going to the Have a Go Days, I was able to talk through my application with the recruit department. They were able to give me advice, a lot of tips on how to change it, how to, you know, make it more appealing for the next round of recruitment. I was able to go away and start working on it right away, which is something that I never would have known that I would be able to do, having not been to the Have a Go Day. I got contact details from the day, which allowed me to further receive any answers to any questions that I had, which was a great help. Actually going to the days themselves and practicing the physical requirements, just going to the training school itself and seeing the equipment, seeing the appliance, meeting the people that were there to help. I went home knowing that it was, excuse me, something that I wanted to be a part of. I was obviously very nervous when it came to the actual physical test, but I think a small percentage of those nerves, it was taken away from the fact that I had been there before and I had hands-on experience with the equipment, and there was a few friendly faces there as well, which it put me at ease. So for me, it really was invaluable. Thank you.
Thanks, Tanya. So as a follow-up to the Have a Go Days, we then invite individuals to come and visit a fire station. The Have a Go Days are around enabling individuals to prepare and train for firefighter recruitment, very much information giving, but the fire station visit really is different. It allows them to see us as an organisation. It allows them to see our values in action and to meet with firefighters as well and have those discussions as well. There are a host of operational staff that assist us on the Go Days and at our fire station visits, and they act as role models, and their support and encouragement is absolutely vital to our potential candidates. I could have asked a range of people to come and talk to you this afternoon, but our time is limited. So I have asked firefighter Danielle Riley to just speak for a few minutes. Danielle joined us in 2018. She's currently based at the Search and Rescue team in Croxteth. Danielle has assisted our team at Have a Go Days and has also acted as a mentor on a recent recruit course as well. And so I've asked Danielle just to talk about the support that she and others offer to both potential candidates and to new recruits as well. Again.
Hello. Like Sarah's just said, I helped in the Have a Go Days themselves. Having not taken part in one, it was an opening for me. But just being able to help out at them gave me a bit more of an understanding, as it allowed us to break down any barriers that people might have had coming into applying for the fire service. It gives them kind of a realistic insight into the application process, instead of just rumours that they've heard coming from an operational firefighter having been through the process. Passing on any knowledge I learned along the way, any tips that I picked up or advice I was given, I was able to then pass it on to people who were necessarily struggling, to allow them to overcome the barriers that I potentially faced when I started to apply. Following on from this, I like helping people, I like being able to support people to gain that success and to get them to a position where they need to be to break down any barriers. I went on to help with the recruit course for 120. Taking up that role, I was able to use those skills to help the firefighters who had not only been through Have a Go Days, but who had applied a number of times and finally been successful in getting into the fire service. So assisting them with any on-site experience that I'd picked up throughout my time in the fire service and the recruit course to help them to gain that success and that positive outcome, and to not feel those anxieties or those worries of the intensity or the different problem solving skills that they were going to build on throughout their recruit course into their firefighter career. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. So hopefully that's kind of given you an idea of the support that we offer through the Have a Go and fire station visits. Since 2017, we have held 23 Have a Go sessions and station visits with over 300 individuals attending. We ask for feedback from our attendees after each event, always looking for ways in which to make sure that they are useful. And the feedback is always positive, with most attendees indicating to us that they are likely or very likely to apply for future firefighter vacancies. The Have a Go days are very much our flagship positive action for firefighter recruitment. But we don't just do them. We have developed other activities which support our targeted positive action approach. I'm just going to take you back to the presentation. So what else do we do? So engaging with our community stakeholders is key to the success of positive action. When I talk about community stakeholders, I'm talking about organisations that work within our communities, for example, charities, religious groups, organisations that work with young people. Within our team, we have an aim of contacting a stakeholder a week, getting in touch with them, catching up with them, letting them know what our recruitment plans are and if there are any ways that we can assist them as well. We've invited stakeholders to come to our Training and Development Academy. We've delivered a presentation similar to this to explain what positive action is, how we can support their community members or service users, and updated them on our recruitment plans. We've held career drop-in sessions at the Wirral Change charity in Wallasey, and the Cumbar Imani Centre in Toxteth. We held them in 2019, just a very informal setting for individuals to just drop in and come and talk to us about careers in the fire service. And we've also attended the El Rakmar Mosque in Toxteth as well as part of a fire service engagement event. We also attend careers events held in schools, colleges, universities and community centres across Merseyside. We look to prioritise attending events which are specifically targeting the groups that we are looking to target. So for example, all girls schools or colleges where there is a high BAME student population. We have a team of volunteers from across the service that assist us at these events, and in many cases they give their own time to inspire others to join the fire service. Since 2018 we have attended over 60 careers events across Merseyside. And alongside our corporate communications colleagues, we have devised a range of promotional materials that we send out to our community stakeholders, that we take with us to events, and that we post on social media as well. The materials are really there to promote us as a brand, as an employer in Merseyside, and also to advertise the diverse range of careers that we have at the Fire and Rescue Service, as we appreciate not everyone wants to be a firefighter. So as you'll see, since 2017, we have done a lot of work. Our initial approach was quite wide, perhaps a little scattergun, and then we've taken this much more targeted approach since then to really try and attract females and individuals from a BAME background to consider a career, specifically as a firefighter. And we do believe that we've seen a positive impact since taking on this approach. So what impact has this had? So in December 2016, prior to the targeted positive action approach, females made up 6.8% of the operational workforce. As of September 2020, females now make up just over 10% of the operational workforce. In December 2016, again, prior to the targeted positive action approach, individuals from a BAME background represented 4% of the operational workforce. And as of September 2020, individuals from a BAME background now represent 5.4% of the operational workforce. We see this as positive growth, that things are moving in the right direction. Since the introduction of the targeted positive action in January 2017, we've recruited 208 recruit firefighters. 32 of these recruits were female, and that represents 15% of the new firefighter intake since January 2017 were female. And 16 of these recruits came from a BAME background, representing 7.7%, which is above the Merseyside BAME working age population. Of the 208 recruits, 16 came directly through our positive action activities. And so these are 16 firefighters who would not have applied for firefighter had they not come across the work that we have done with positive action. As a team, though, we don't like to rest on our laurels. We're always looking for ways to improve, to really drive positive action forward. And so just finally, just to share with you what our plans are for the future. Continuing to engage with our community stakeholders is absolutely key. It's going to be a significant aim for us going forward. We are always interested in hearing about groups, organisations that we can work with. And we're always open to introductions from both our staff, and I would extend that invite to yourselves as well. We're very keen to work with organisations that we haven't done so before in trying to deliver our positive action. We're looking to expand our social media content. Our data shows us that females are more likely to fail at the physical assessments than at any other stage of the firefighter recruitment process. So we have videos on our YouTube channel demonstrating the physical assessments that are involved, and we're putting together videos as well about how best to train for the physical assessments. We've also started to include content which captures the stories of role models within the service, including female and BAME firefighters, as they introduce themselves, talk about their careers prior to joining the fire service and why they wanted to become a firefighter. And we're starting to put those stories out now on our social media pages. And we're working with our staff networks to promote our opportunities to underrepresented groups. Members from the staff networks will be points of contact for individuals and be able to offer advice and guidance to those that are considering a career within the fire service. Positive action is an ongoing endeavour, and it's not just something that we do in the run-up to firefighter recruitment. It is an ongoing thing for our team. As a team, we're very committed and very passionate about delivering positive action. We believe that by having a diverse workforce, we're better able to represent the different communities of Merseyside, and therefore we are better able to serve them. It is the responsibility of the whole organisation to support positive action, and we are always open to hearing new ideas about how we can drive this forward. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to take any questions.
If anyone has any questions or comments, please could you switch on your camera and raise your hand. The meeting facilitator will then unmute your microphone and invite you to speak at the appropriate time. You will then need to click to confirm you wish to unmute your microphone, and then you can state your comment or question. Thank you.
Councillor Maloney has a question.
Councillor Stapleton? Maloney?
Yeah, Councillor Maloney.
No, we've lost sound. Councillor Maloney.
Can you hear? No.
Yes, I could just hear you then.
First of all, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now.
First of all, I'd like to thank Sarah, Tanya and Danielle, an absolutely brilliant presentation. And I really, the away days, the have a go days are an absolutely fantastic idea. However, by using unrepresented people, are we looking at our children looked after across the region? Try and bring them people into this. Fantastic work.
Okay.
So the have a go days, the positive action does, it comes under the Equality Act, so it does look at characteristics, protected characteristics that do come under that piece of legislation, and that's what we're able to do within positive action. However, I wouldn't, if there are specific groups of people or organisations that we're always looking to promote the opportunities that we have at the service, and we're more than happy to attend or be put into contact with any organisations, and we'd be more than happy if we have the details, then we can make contacts and we can certainly build some relationships there.
Councillor Stapleton, you had a question?
Yes, thank you very much. I'd like to thank everybody involved in all this recruitment improvement. It's been really, really inspiring. My question is, the elephant in the room, I think, COVID obviously has actually restricted people from recruiting, as you have been doing. Have you got any plans going forward to combat this? Or does that mean all your events that you maybe had planned have stopped? So could you describe how you're going to deal with COVID in the near future? Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So the have a go days are quite events which we don't believe we would be able to do keeping to social distancing. However, we have plans to hold more smaller events to have to deliver the same information, the same support to smaller groups of people. So we're in the process of putting those plans together now. Obviously, with the use of technology like this, we're able to set up sessions like this with, again, groups of individuals, and we'd be able, obviously, to reach a wider audience there. We have seen the careers events that we're invited to. They did stop after March earlier this year because we weren't open and everything went into lockdown. We are starting to get requests from schools and colleges, and they are looking to do careers events done using video. Is what we're seeing today. So we will find ways to work around the restrictions that are in place with COVID. We don't want to lose the momentum that we have, and so I would hope that the impact would be minimal.
That's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak?
Councillor Makinson.
Councillor Makinson.
Excellent presentation, some very positive movements in recruiting more women and more people from BAME communities. The one subgroup we never really consider is how we're doing with BAME women.
Yes, yeah, no, absolutely. So but we have certainly concentrated on BAME in the last few years. But you're right, we don't see the majority of our female applicants do come from a white British background, and so that's certainly a strand that we've been we're looking to target with our community stakeholders is probably the best approach to that. And we'd be looking to work with organisations who assist or are in contact with that certain, with that particular strand.
Anybody else got any questions or comments?
Councillor Preston, I believe, as well.
Councillor Preston?
Thank you. Can you hear me, Chair?
Yes.
Oh, thanks, Chair. Yeah, thanks, Sarah and Tanya and Danielle, for a brilliant presentation. Could I just ask, where would the Prince's Trust fit in with Have a Go days? And also, you mentioned positive action being underrepresented groups. Would this include individuals with disabilities, i.e. autism? Thank you.
So absolutely, positive action is targeting underrepresented groups. Any individuals who identify as having a disability would certainly fall under that. For firefighter recruitment, we have concentrated more on the female and the individuals from a BAME background, but we would certainly, under positive action, anybody with a protected characteristic, we would be happy to work with and invite to events as well. And sorry, can you just remind me of the first part of your question, Councillor Preston?
Yeah, it was just the Prince's Trust. I just wanted to know how they fitted in with the Have a Go days. Thanks.
Absolutely. So we do work with Prince's Trust. The invite would be there for anybody who is on a Prince's Trust programme who falls into one of those groups under positive action. As a team, we have supported Prince's Trust students in the past with interview skills, CV writing skills, and I know that across the service support is offered in terms of giving an insight into the fire service as well.
That's great.
Thank you.
Questions or comments?
Nobody else is indicating, Chair.
Oh, that's great. I was just going to make the comment that it's not, positive action isn't just about recruitment, because everybody that's recruited has the potential then to become a senior person. So it is very much looking to the future of the fire services rather than, not exactly tick boxing, but it's looking to the future in a very positive way, isn't it? Thank you. Could members now turn on their cameras? The meeting facilitator will now unmute everyone to provide you with an opportunity to raise any issues with regards to the item. If you wish to raise anything, please click to confirm that you want your microphone to be unmuted and state your comment. If no issues are raised, the recommendations will be taken as approved. Okay, we'll take that as approved and say thank you very much to Sarah Fielding for that excellent presentation. And move on to item agenda 4, which is the review of the Scrutiny Committee Forward Plan, which I'm sure you've had a chance to look at. Several have been completed. There's no further action required. Several of the issues are still waiting for the opportunity to be completed. Does anybody following this meeting feel there's anything that they would like to add to this list? Okay, I'll take that as no, we've certainly got plenty to keep working with. So if we can take it, we approve that item. The date of the next meeting will be the 14th of January 2021. And could I thank everybody for their attendance? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jam.
Thank you.